Is Vivian from Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door trans? Now, most of the internet will say yes, and as far as I can tell, that just seems to be the general consensus. There's like a handful of people online who do not believe that Vivian is, and I'm not here to talk about, oh, you should criticize those people, or you should criticize the people who think that Vivian is trans. Like, first of all, this is a video game character, so it doesn't really matter. But with how I'm running my channel, I'm keeping sensitive topics, I'll say, censored, and sensitive words specifically. So you won't hear cussing on this channel. And if you do, it's because I missed cutting it out from either a video game or something else. But it won't come from me. It might come from a friend, but I'm going to do my best to cut that stuff out. The whole idea of Vivian being trans comes from dialogue choices, and I'm doing this video, one, because I said I would, and two, because that dialogue is coming up in-game. There will be some spoilers for this game. The game is like 20 years old now, so if you are experiencing the game for the first time through my channel, I'm happy that you're here, but I will have to do light spoilers. It will be soon in my videos anyway. But this conversation does need to happen, given what I have said that I would do. I say it's a conversation, but I'm talking to myself. Vivian is the little purple ghost with the pink hat, the pink hair, and she's the timid of the three shadow sirens, which I'm calling them that because that's what the first version of the game called them when it got localized. That, and I'm also looking at a picture right now that says it. Vivian, and then Beldum, and then Marilyn. So that's the three. So Beldum's the blue hat, and then Marilyn is the yellow hat. I'm gonna say a few pieces of evidence as to why I think that Vivian might not be. And it is currently how I view the situation. And if something is out there, like if Nintendo themselves have done an interview talking about this, like the actual people, I'm not talking about video game dialogue. If there is an interview out there somewhere, I would love for somebody to share that with me in the comments. Anywhere for me to see it too. That would be super, super helpful. But I scrolled through like 6 pages on Google looking for links to articles, anything like that, where there would actually be an interview talking about this, and I didn't find one. There is a plethora of gaming news articles that have talked about this though, and there's also like game info or whatever that website is. I'm actually looking at it right now. Game Facts, where one person questions it. The dialogue, again, hints that Vivian might be trans, and the reason I word it that way is because I'm not convinced, but I'll get to that point. So, the first reason as to why I don't think Vivian is trans, and this is by far the weakest point, of the shadow race that shows up in Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, all of them are female, and this is trying to withhold spoilers as best as I can. All of them are female, except for potentially Vivian. Vivian's dialogue is the only thing that makes you wonder. There are a few spots in the game where this comes up, kind of. The very first one, you will find it in Chapter 2. Vivian says that they are the 3 Shadow Sisters, and Beldum does a scolding of Vivian, saying that they're the Shadow Sirens, specifically, or in this updated version, it's just the 3 shadows. And then she says, like, relation withheld will be more than enough to win the day. Now, following that, Vivian says, it makes me really happy when you call me your sister, so... ... Now, some of that could be that Vivian is actually a boy who wants to be called their sister. So far, nothing has said that Vivian is straight up a man. In fact, the only times you hear that Vivian is a man is from Beldam. You never hear about it otherwise. Vivian always refers to herself as a she. Beldam is the only one that refers to Vivian as a he. The dialogue from Vivian that's coming up in Chapter 4, it says, "Truth is, it took me a while to realize I was their sister, not their brother. Now their usual bullying feels heavier." So that dialogue is the biggest one that people look at when thinking that Vivian is trans. So I want to paint a picture here, and I don't want to talk about this too much longer, but I want to paint a picture here, and you guys can decide for yourselves, honestly. So first, I was like mocked and bullied, throughout school, and not because of like my gender or whatever. Like, I'm obviously a dude, but like I got bullied for like my weight when I was younger. I got bullied just because I liked video games. Now it's like one of the highest grossing industries, ever. As someone who has been bullied and people make horrible assumptions of you, that's why I don't view it this way. Because, okay, here's the picture I said I was going to paint. What if Beldam, being the bully that they are, in order to keep one leg above Vivian, Beldam consistently calls Vivian their brother, which in turn would be gaslighting Vivian, right? So the only way I see that working is if that's been happening since Vivian was created or born, or however that would work with the shadows. With that being a possibility, I can't fully rule that out. And that's actually why I think this is going on. Because Beldam consistently makes Vivian feel bad. Like, Beldam never treats Vivian well in the game, ever. And so, calling Vivian her brother, it just kinda... Like, to me, that just feels like they're calling her a masculine girl. I don't see where the transgender thing is. Like, I could see it that way, but, like, until I know for sure from, like, Nintendo or whatever, and they probably won't say anything because no matter what, it's going to be bad PR if they include bad PR from people that don't care. If they exclude bad PR from people that do care. Bottom line, with this dialogue, I think Vivian saying that it took a while to realize that she was their sister, not their brother, I just think that she didn't have much exposure to boys, which is also possible. I don't think it's that big of a deal regardless, but at the end of the day, it's a video game character, and it doesn't matter because it's not real. Vivian, in my perspective, is a girl who's a little more masculine compared to Beldam and Marilyn, at least in Beldam's eyes. And Beldam has viciously bullied her, tried to gaslight her into thinking that she was not a girl when she was born that way. That's the way I view it. If you don't agree with that, congratulations. That's for you guys. And I'm not here to say that anybody's right or wrong. I'm just saying what my interpretation of the dialogue is. And I mean, that's fine. I don't have to sit here and say that I see the same thing as everyone else. The world functions better without everybody agreeing on the same stuff anyway, because we're all trying to figure out how to live life together. And part of that is interpreting what other things say, what other people say. in this instance, in terms of like how important this is, it's not important at all. Like, it's just a video game, guys. That being said, if anybody does disagree with me in the comments, I'm willing to have a peaceful discussion. I don't see where she is legitimately trans. I can see how it's a possibility, but I don't see that being the only possibility. Well, guys, that's it. I don't really feel like talking about this anymore, just because I don't have anything else to say. Although I am seeing where the Italian dub of this game translates directly to Vivian saying that they're proud to have turned into a woman. So Italians, good for you. That, you know, do your own thing. I am not Italian. I'm going based off of what I have read in English, because that is the language that I speak and read. But at least for now, that's what I think it is. Goodbye, guys.